So I've started recording. So today we are gonna create a cartoon car model. Okay. So for the first, like what I have to do is, like what I'll be doing is, like I'll be selecting a curve. You have to go to file here, file, edit, create is, here. Go to curve tool. There are different types of curve tool. One is CV curve tool, another is EP curve tool. These are the two main curve tools. CV stands for control vertex curve tool. EP stands for endpoint curve tool. I'm gonna take control vertex curve tool. So here I'm in perspective view. Perspective view. So from here you just go to front view. You have to go to front view to draw curve. So what I'm gonna do is from here to our right hand side, there's a center dark grid line is there. From here you add a point. You start adding points like this. And press enter to complete. After this, see, if you see in perspective, you have a curve which is something like this. Okay, I have done in front view. Sorry, not in front view. You have to create in top view. Go to top view. That's what I was just checking. Go to create curve tool, CV curve in top view. Okay. Now in perspective, when you see, the curve has to be something like this. It should look like this. Here, go to control vertex. If you see here, control vertex, these are the control vertex. So right click, go to control vertex. So you can manually move this or you can change the shape of this. So I'm in top view only. I'm selecting all this. I make it something like this and I'm gonna place it over here. Okay. This is the first control vertex. This is the last control vertex. So the first and the last control vertex has to be snapped to the grid. This is the dark, the dark thick line is, this is the grid line. We need to snap this to grid. Earlier you have written a shortcut. Snap to grid is X. When you hold X, this is a shortcut here also. When you hold X, the pivot is changing like this. Hold X, then move. You can see from grid to grid line only it's gonna snap. So make it up to this dark thick line, and this one also. Hold X, snap to grid. Okay, like this. I'm just creating some shape. Okay, like this. So some shape, like a fancy shape, you just do it like this. Okay. Fine. After this, say I have created it up to here. Okay. After this, I would like to duplicate also. Okay. Before that, what I'll do, I'm selecting this. I'm gonna do Control D. Control D, duplicate. So this is the another copy. I'm gonna lift it up to here. Okay. I'm just lifting this up to here. Then after this, the next step is I'm selecting this two curve. Select this two curve. Go to surface, surface, loft. There's a tool called loft. Click on this loft tool. When you click on the loft, automatically a model will, a patch will be appearing over here between these two curve. So for this curve, we have created a surface. By creating these two curve, we have created a loft. This is called a lofted surface. Okay, you can see lofted surface here. Now there are no mesh vertically, means horizontally here. So go to the loft. You can add certain spans. This is spans. With middle click, towards right. If you scroll, select this, hold middle click and right. If you scroll towards right, you get to add spans. Then what I do from here, go to vertex mode. I'm just gonna select something like this. See, I selected the middle vertex. So I selected middle vertex lines up to here. Okay, I can deselect this one. So I'll be deselecting this one. In front view, instead of flat surface, I'm just giving some shape like this. Similarly, I'm selecting this. I'm moving a little bit something like this. Same way here also, I'm moving a bit like this. So some shape, we are providing. So, but still, as I told you, Maya does, create or does have the history how this particular model has grown. So if you select the top curve, still it is there. If you move up and down, still it do work like this. So we need to break the history. For that, you have to select this particular model, go to edit, delete by type, history. You have to go to edit, delete by type, history. Then select everything, control deselect the model. See, you have the curve out, over there. You can delete the curve now. Now what I want is I need to duplicate this particular model over here to the left side. Okay. Which is there on your right hand side. So I know I want that in the left side also. We need to duplicate this. So for that, go to edit, duplicate special, go to option box, duplicate special, option box. Here, this is x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. Always you have to consider like this, x, y, z. Under scale 1, make it -1. Under scale x, this is the first one, x, y, z. In scale x, make it minus and duplicate special. So what happens now? You get this particular model over here. Okay. I'm selecting this both. I'm gonna scale it globally. Something like this. Something like this. After this, if you notice, certain values has been changed over here. So I'm selecting this, go to modify, freeze transform, freeze transform. These are the transformation values. If I'm freezing this, all the things set to be default, translate and rotation values will set to 0, x values, scale values are set to 1. So this is the output which we have received. Okay. Now if you see here, this looks gray color, but outside this looks black because this is the one side of the face, this is the other side of the face. So for that, I'm selecting this surface. I click on reverse direction. Under surface reverse. So what happens? The direction will get to reverse. Now what I'll be doing is I'm selecting this, right click, go to isopalm. You know what is isopalm, right? Isopalm is an imaginary dotted line which helps to add mesh. So I click on isopalm, go to the first isopalm here. So I select the first isopalm. Then shift select this particular model. Whenever there is a multiple selection, you have to hold shift. See, go to isopalm, select the first isopalm, shift select this particular model, right click, go to isopalm again, shift select this isopalm. That means I have selected two different isopalm from two different objects. This is one object, this is another object. This is not a combined object. These are separate objects. So two different isopalm from two different objects. Then I'll go to surface, again loft, right? After this, I'm gonna add few mesh. I'm gonna add a mesh up to here. That's okay. Again, this particular model I'll select surface reverse direction like this. After this, I'll just I would like to add few mesh. I'll go to isopalm, one drag and drop here, another one drag and drop here. It depends. So I'll go to surface, insert isopalm. We got some mesh. So now right click, go to control vertex. So in the top view, you have to come to top view. Do not select the um, vertex which are in the edges or which are in the corner. Okay, I'm selecting this vertex 1 2. Okay, I should have some line in the middle for the loft like this. I'll go to control vertex. I'm gonna select 3 plus 1 plus 1. Again, holding shift, 3 plus 1 plus 1. So I selected 3 control vertex. I skipped one, then I selected one more. Like that, I skipped here, I selected one. So what I'll do is I'm gonna lift this like this. So when you see from the front, this is how it looks. Okay. Similarly, I'll just go to the next one. I select this. I'm gonna deselect this like this. Something like this. Okay. So I'm gonna leave the next part. Then I select this. I'll go to wireframe mode. I'm not gonna select the next one. I'm not gonna select this one. This one, something like this. I did raised up to here. Okay, so we have selected this one now. So now I'm gonna leave this and I'm gonna select these things. That means this one like this. Okay. See, we created a model up to here like this. Any doubts up to here, guys? Any doubts, MD?
No, still clear, so.
Great. Then what I'll be doing is we need to create some space, or we need to create a hole for tire, right? In surface, we have an option wherein I can draw or I can create curve on this particular surface. I can create. So for that, I have to go to side view. Okay. Here, there is a curve tool called 3-point circular arc. Under curve tool, go to create. In curve tool, you have 3-point circular arc, 2-point circular arc. I'm going to select 3-point circular arc. So I'll press 4 so that in wireframe mode, 1, 2, and 3. See, this is a circular arc, right? I created some space like this. Then with the middle one, I can choose how it's required. Okay, to complete the tool, you have to press enter. I press enter. So I'm gonna top, I'm gonna pull this thing outside. Inside view, I'm gonna see whether it's working fine or not. The placement of the arch is fine or not. I'm gonna duplicate this and I place it somewhere here. Okay. So now what I'll do, I bring this outside. However, this particular model is there. In the same way, this particular curve also needs to be. So I'm gonna rotate a bit and I'm gonna push this somewhere here, and still I'm gonna rotate a bit like this. Similarly, I'm gonna select this particular arc, this curve. So I just place it over here. Too closer. I'm gonna keep it a bit closer. a closer. I think this is fine. So if you see, there are two different arcs which I have placed here. Now, this is a reference curve which I have created. Now, this particular reference curve, I need to be placed on top of this particular model. Okay. So for that, I'm selecting this curve, shift select this particular model, select the curve, select the model. This is the step. How to project curve on the surface. How to project curve on the surface. For that, you need to select the curve, created curve, then the surface. You have to go to surface menu here. Here, surface menu. In this, there is an option called project curve on surface. I'm going to project curve on surface. Now, if you notice, a curve has been projected on the surface, which is not proper. So I'm going to delete that. So I'm selecting this. I move a bit. I am rotating a bit. Again, select curve, select object, go to surface, project curve on surface. So you need to check whether the curve is properly projecting or not. I think this is okay. Okay, next step, if you notice here, just observe the model. On the model, you have the curve. The next step is you have to select the projected curve. Assume by mistake you clicked outside, you are not able to select. Then you can press 4, go to wireframe mode, then you select the curve, then press 5. This is how you can do. Now select the projected curve. Next step is how to trim the area. Select the projected curve, shift select the model, then go to surface, trim tool. You have to pick trim tool. Pick the trim tool. Here you get to see two different things. This is the area which I want to retain. This is the area which I want to trim it. So which area you want to retain, click that so that you get a star point. Click on that particular area and press enter. When you do that, this area has been taken out. Similarly, the same step is gonna repeat. Select the curve, select the object. First thing, I need to project the curve on the surface. A perfect curve has been projected. Shift, select the projected curve, select the object, go to surface, trim tool, select the area which you want to retain and press enter. This has been trimmed. As you know that, these curves do have, certain connections. I'm gonna move a little bit. Okay. So what I'll do is, see if I move, these holes are gonna, move here and there. That's the reason. Select the model, edit, delete by type, history. Then what I'll do, I select this curve and this curve, move a little bit outside, somewhere up to here. Then, if you notice, select this, right click. If you notice, there's something new tool called trim edge. Trim edge. This was not there earlier. Now I select this model, right click. That trim edge is not there. But if you select this model and trim and see, trim edge is there. Why? Why? Because this particular model has been trimmed. Now select this model, go to trim edge. This is the trim edge, right? This is the trim edge, just like isopalm. This is not an isopalm, this is trim edge. I select the trim edge and shift select this particular curve. Go to surface, loft. Similarly, select this, go to trim, select the trim edge, shift select the curve, surface, loft. I select this object and this object. I go to surface, I'm gonna do reverse, right? I select this curve and this curve. I'm gonna delete this curve. The work is done. Same thing. I'm gonna delete this, the other side. I have to repeat the same, or else what I'm gonna do is I select this. I duplicate Control D. In Scale X, I can make it -1. See, it's over here. Same thing. Select this, both Control D. In Scale X, -1. These are the shortcuts. See, you got it here also. Okay. This looks like this. After this, I'm gonna select a torus. Okay, this torus. Okay, I don't want interactive creation now. I go to create NURBS. I need interactive creation, sorry. So I have to go to create NURBS primitive, create NURBS primitive. I need to enable interactive creation so that enable this so that when I select torus, it will ask me to create it manually. So I'm gonna drag like this. I'm gonna make it something like this. Okay, this is over here. I place it somewhere here. Then I'm gonna scale it one side so that this looks like this. Great, right? Do the placement. After this, I'm gonna create a cylinder, exactly one cylinder somewhere in the center like this. Lift this up, bring it down like this. Then Control D, I'm gonna rotate it like this, then Shift D. Okay, then I select all these cylinders, press up arrow, then again scale R, one axis, scale it in one axis. See, you got it like this. You got it like this. Then I'm selecting everything, press up arrow. I'm gonna group it, Control G for group, modify, center pivot. So what I'm gonna do is I duplicate this, place it here. I have to see in the view also. I think this is okay. I have to see this also. This should come out a bit. Again, I duplicate this. So this is somewhere here. Up arrow, I'm gonna duplicate this. This should be somewhere here. So it's ready. Any doubts up to here? MD?
No, sir. It's okay.
So in the bottom part, I select the isopalm. Select this, go to isopalm. Select both the isopalm. Go to surface, loft. Okay. So it's added, select this. Surface, I do reverse direction. This is okay. Bottom also we have added. Now I have to create a hole over here for windshield. So I'll create a curve. So I have to create a curve. So I'm just placing this curve here. Bring it to front. I'm gonna rotate a bit like this. Something like this. Like this. After this, I go to control vertex, I select this, I make it straight. I select this, make it straight. Similarly, I select the top vertex, make it like this. I'm narrowing a bit. So after this, I will be selecting this and making it closer to the model. After this, select this particular curve, select the model, surface, project curve on surface. Make sure this particular curve is projected on the surface properly. Then select the projected curve on the model, go to surface, make it trim tool. I want to have this one, this model, then press enter. You got it like this. Edit, delete by type history. Then I will be selecting this particular curve, move it behind. I'm gonna rotate it like this. Make it smaller. Backside like this, like this. Select the curve, select the model, go to surface, project curve on surface. Sometimes, some other curves are also being projected. So make sure it is properly done. Select the curve, select the model, surface, project curve on surface. Yes, it's perfect now. I think still there is one more curve has been projected over here. So in that case, what I'll be doing is, you can go to wireframe mode, select and you can delete it. Then I select the projected curve, then shift select the object, surface trim tool, retain. I want to have this, so enter. It's done. Now select this again, edit, delete by type history. So I'm selecting this particular curve. I'm gonna place it somewhere here for time being now. So I made it in this way, like this. Something like this. I'll go to vertex mode. So I place it somewhere here. So I'm gonna project, I'm gonna trim this part also. Select the curve, select this model, project curve on surface. A curve has been projected here. I think there's one more curve has been projected in the backside, that we'll see. Similarly, I select this and I select the model, project curve on surface. Same thing, I think one more has been done. So I go to wireframe mode. This and this, I'm gonna delete. Select this, delete, select this, delete. I'm gonna select these two projected curve and okay, select this curve, select the object, surface, trim. I'm gonna trim this area. Similarly, select this and this, go to surface, trim. I hold this, trim this area. I'm gonna select this to edit, delete by type history. So I select the curve. I think it's enough for the curve. I did up to here. Okay, next step, it's almost done. So next step, I'm selecting this, go to trim edge, select the trim edge. I can even duplicate this trim edge. How do I do it is select the trim edge, go to curve. You have to go to curves now. Duplicate surface curve. Okay, so you have to move it a little bit backside and bit down. Now what I'll do, the surface curve has been selected. Shift select the object, go to trim edge. Now select the trim edge on the curve, go to surface, make it loft. In loft, add a span. Then here, right click, go to hull, select the middle one, select the middle hull. You can scale it globally like this so that you get a beading. Okay, you get a beading, something like this. Then you can add a plane or anything. Okay, you can add a plane over here. Okay, same way you have to do one more over here in the back side and even in the front side. So it's almost done. Okay. Any doubt, guys? MD, any doubt?
Still clear, sir. So may I ask, sir,
Yeah.
how do you know that you have to delete the type history? Sir?
When you have to delete the history, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. As and when, like you perform an action. Okay. So already when there is a curve, we have created a curve. From the curve, you're trimming the area. Once the object is getting trimmed, you have to delete the history. Okay.
Okay, sir. And can I have the key for Safari?
What?
The key for Safari. Safari.
Key.
Yeah, like the key from the keyboard. Safari key.
Okay, let me stop recording first.